But thanks for coming out. I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm trying to be more positive lately. And my buddy's like, well, just be more positive. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you just be more positive? He's like, well, think of something that you're grateful for and then focus on that. And what you'll find is that your brain is a very powerful magnet. So if you put positivity into the universe, you're going to attract positivity. But if you keep putting negativity into the universe, you're going to attract negativity. And it was at that moment it clicked. I go, oh, I get it now. This motherfucker doesn't get how magnets work. I mean, who's the science teacher? The insane clown posse? I mean, what's going on here? So apparently the key to happiness is having a general lack of understanding of basic science. So I've been working on that. I'm also trying to not be so judgmental. Like, I'm really judgmental. I even judge my kids' friends based on whether or not I'm disgusted by the thought of their parents having sex. And I'm like, man, you shouldn't hang out with Billy, man. Billy's mom is a cow and Billy's dad is a limp sack of meat. Timmy, on the other hand, Timmy's dad is laying pipe. And based on how Timmy's mom is devouring hog, pretty safe to say that Timmy's not Jewish. Y'all can hang out on a Saturday. I fuck with Timmy, you know? My name is Ramey Roberts. I was born a straight male. I currently identify as a straight male. I would tell you what my pronouns are, but I went to public school, so I have no idea what a fucking pronoun is. Honestly, I'm not even sure what a noun is, to be honest. But I'm for it, you know, like I'm pronoun, I guess, in that regard. But my older brother, a couple years ago, my older brother in his mid-40s, he came out as gender fluid, non-binary, and bisexual. And when I heard that, I was like, that tracks, you know? He always struck me as a sexually ambiguous, equal opportunity rapist. I don't want to give y'all the wrong impression. I am an ally. As somebody who constantly has to pretend that there's something that they're not, I'm all for people being their genuine self. So my problem is not with my brother's sexual orientation. My problem is he's a bully and he's an asshole. You know, he's just a piece of shit, right? Like, for example, when we were kids, one time he wiped his ass with my bath towel. He thought that was the funniest shit you could ever do, you know? The crazy thing isn't that he came out in his mid-40s. The crazy thing is he was married and has a kid when that happened. And she was totally okay with it, totally supportive, you know? Which is cool, but I started wondering, like, well, how did that conversation go, you know? It's like, hey, honey, if you're gonna go to the store, remember to get a gallon of milk for the kids. And by the way, I wanna start fucking dudes. I've known it my whole life. I just wasn't brave enough to admit it till now. My pronouns are they and them. And she was totally supportive. They're still married to this day. But then it started making me think, like, well, what's my equivalent as a straight guy, right? So I went home and I said, hey, honey, if you're gonna go to the store, remember to get a gallon of milk. And by the way, I wanna start relentlessly smashing ass on the side. I've known it my whole life. I just wasn't brave enough to admit it until now. Their pronouns are they and them, as in plural, as in there's a lot of these bitches. But unfortunately for me, my wife was not as understanding of my coming out as my brother's wife was of his. So I did get a divorce. Yeah. It was pretty rough for a while. For a period of time, I was living in a storage building. I was shitting in a bucket and I was showering in a garden hose. Great time to be alive. But then out of nowhere, my brother texted me and he's like, hey man, I heard what happened. That's hard to hear. If you ever need anything, let me know. And I was like, oh, it's kind of fucked up, fuck that guy. But then I was like, it is cold outside, so not too proud. So I was like, you know what, man? If I could just take a hot shower, that would really mean a lot to me. So I went over there. It was kind of awkward because we hadn't seen each other in several years. I got to meet my nephew for the first time, but I wasn't really fond of him because I was disgusted of the thought of his parents having sex. Long story short, I took a shower, I wiped my ass with every single towel in that fucking bathroom. I folded them all up nicely, I put them away, I went about my business. Fuck that guy, happy Pride Month otherwise. But I tell you all this to explain why, unfortunately, I have been jerking off to internet porn lately. It's no good. I try not to do it, but when I do it, I take the case off my phone because I like it raw. It feels way better that way, you know? We got any raw dogs in here? Couple raw dogs, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad there's still people raw dogging in this world. I myself am a raw dog, but I want to do it responsibly. So I recently just got an STD test. I'm proud to say, no new STDs. Pretty excited about that. We cannot dwell on the past. We can only look to the future. But when I got the STD test, I didn't go to my doctor's office. I went to the Metro Health Clinic. Because fun fact about the Metro Health Clinic, when you go to the waiting room, all the sluts, they fuck. All of them. So, there is a lot of questionable pussy at the Metro Health Clinic. But before you get the test, you have to fill out what they call a risk assessment questionnaire. So they ask you questions like, do you have unprotected sex? Do you have sex with multiple partners? Do you use drugs? Do you use drugs while you're having sex? And I got confused. I'm like, how many times are they going to ask me if I like to have a good time? The answer is yes. Possibly yes, please, because I'm a gentleman. But I went to the back, the lady to draw my blood, the phlebotomist, the word of the day is phlebotomist. The lady that draws my blood, she didn't know which vials to grab. So she called up front. And they were just reading back the test they were supposed to do. But the way the lady said it is, all right, so he's got chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and HIV. I'm like, whoa, bitch, close the door. I'm trying to bang these clinic sluts, and you're acting like I just blacked out my STD bingo card. Or Loteria card if you're banging Hispanic chicks. Last time I did that, she played the crab card on me. That was really brutal. So as a means of last resort, I started trying to date, trying to meet people, ladies, fellas. But meeting people is hard, especially because I don't drink anymore. And the only thing worse than being the old guy at the bar hitting on women is being the old guy at the bar hitting on women dead sober. It's not a good look, you know? Like I walked to the bar, I'm like, hey, can I buy you a drink? I'm like, but you're not drinking. Oh no, I want to keep my wits about me. but you keep drinking, it's cool. It's a hard pass every time, I don't understand why. Some women get aggressive about it. They're like, what are you, some kind of a creep? I'm like, no, I'm a designated driver. He eats pussy. You're missing the point. We started a rideshare program called Lick, where I pay you and cunnilingus to drive you home, you know? Do y'all think, I'm going to end it pretty soon. Do y'all think that America is a sexist country? Do y'all think America is sexist? Yes. Okay, good. I think America is sexist, and I've actually been developing an economic model to prove once and for all that America is a sexist country. Okay, so follow along. Let's say that we have a test subject named Bob. Bob likes to get blowjobs, but unfortunately for Bob, Bob is awkward, so Bob does not date well, which means Bob has to purchase those blowjobs on the free market. The price of this blowjob is determined at the intersection of supply for blowjobs offered and demand for blowjobs wanted. Bob wants to pay a fair price for this blowjob, but unfortunately Bob is unemployed and his unemployment benefits just ran out. So Bob says, I'm going to get creative. I'm going to start selling my body for money. But what Bob soon finds out is due to centuries of devaluation of male sexuality, no one is buying what Bob is selling. The market is flooded with free dick. Women are not buying dick. I mean, there are the wealthy widowers, you know, the 1%, the elite looking for the boy toys, looking for love in all the wrong ages. But unfortunately for Bob's not a boy toy. He's talented, but he's not a boy toy. Which means Bob has to resort to selling his body to other guys. But as any economist will tell you, guys who pay other guys for sex, they're not gay. They're just looking for a good deal. They're trying to stretch their blowjob dollar. Because at the end of the day, a mouth is a mouth. Preferably it's behind a glory hole. And unfortunately for Bob's eyes are Bob's moneymakers. All of this adds up to mean that Bob is earning 60 cents on the blowjob dollar when compared to his female counterpart. Which means Bob has to give 1.7 blowjobs for every one blowjob that he receives. And until this blowjob gap tightens, America will always be a sexist country. And for those of you assholes not laughing at that joke, I went into debt to be able to tell that joke. Okay? And in case you missed it, I'm Bob. All right, guys, thanks a lot. My name is Ramey Roberts. Y'all have a good night.